Alright, well, welcome to my first sort of unscripted video here, and I'm talking about what I can do in this world or what I find to be interesting. So, this here is just called the Star One World within VR Chat. Got the particle wand here, and yeah, I see there being a lot of potential to this. I see it being something of a visual medium or visual instrument, and this is sort of my first time trying to do a recorded session where I talk over it. Usually I do things sort of unscripted and just sort of fun clips, but this is one where I'm going to be talking a little bit while I try to go through the process here and try to get a little more used to talking during it all. So, yeah. So, most people, they kind of see this as just a little particle physics kind of demonstration, but I see this as being like a whole visual instrument and art and thing. And yeah, no, I think this video is probably gonna get scrapped, or maybe I'll just leave it up as it is. Like let myself appear a little more human and make mistakes or be imperfect. I guess this will be kind of more of a meditation video. So, um, but yeah. So yeah, most people when they play around with this as like an instruction, yes, yeah. Uh, the wand gathers all the particles to a point. You move it around, kind of disperses them, makes these satisfying little displays and things. And then you can pull the trigger and it expands space outward like that. And then you can let it pull back in, kind of deform space in different ways and move things around. And yeah. So I see there being a few different potentials for this. One of the first things that I first thought of though was to condense it down to sort of a 2D space because you're working with like 3D space and it can be kind of hard. So kind of get a nice orbit, you get a nice 2D ring from which you can kind of pull and make shapes. So like that's not the best, but yeah, that's a little bit cleaner. So yeah, so you see you get kind of a heart if you pull down the inside and then pull the bottom down. Other things you can make, most things you can like make with a small tweak, but obviously then you get things like where you can pull the outside and you can make like a triangle or stars and things like that. So there's sort of like a four-pointed kind of little star, and it's kind of hard to get it properly. It's a very volatile medium, but I think that's partially why I'm so interested in it, because I think that volatility speaks to high potential. And then you get other things where you kind of drag back and forth and like pulse the trigger in between things, and you get these interesting sort of emergent things. What's another easy thing? Yeah, most everything else, it feels like it fits into drills, and it really sucks to say that after how much time I've poured into this. It's like, ah, yes, after everything, I only have drills. So, then there's this one here where you pulse it back and forth. You reduce it down to sort of a 2D, sort of a line along a different plane, and then you kind of get like a 2D cutout of a sphere going back and across. Like, you sort of see it tracing the outline of a sphere almost. And yeah, sort of in practice or a drill of timing. Yeah, and then you get to, I don't know, what else can you do? Another drill that's good for control, if your controller doesn't mess up like mine wants to right now, is one where you try to get like a star all by itself. So you see like that one there, the one star kind of orbiting all the rest as it is. And then you can kind of switch it out, get the one star in the center, and make all the rest orbit the one. That's another kind of control drill that you can do. So, and then yeah, flick the one star away, and then you can start juggling too with different things, try to keep the bodies like separate and distinct, and see what you can do. And then you can try to like feed off one extra one and see if you can't do like two or three. And yeah, and then you can do more of these like wave things too, where you get these big sweeping waves, and it's hard not to be interested in me. I I doubt that other people find it interesting, but for me, it's captivated me for a while now. I've put more time into this than I would like to admit. Um, but yeah, with that whole like melting thing down thing, you can kind of do it like that from the sphere where things are nice and a little bit more uniform and kind of get this dancing kind of a fabric or a folding of space. And yeah, then you can get almost like a impressions of like dragons, birds, snakes, and things, or different things. It's just vague general impressions, but yeah. And then you can also play with depth a little bit more, kind of make like a trail that kind of bleeds out from you out into space. So something like this. So you see like there's like sort of a line kind of going further out into space from where I'm at, and there's not much for like depth or visual cue within the space, but that's just sort of what it is. So yeah, I've thought of iterating on this and making a world or tool or something similar where you could edit edit parameters and sort of tune it more like an instrument, or like you can in this other world I like, the playing with like video feedback, where you can edit all sorts of things, and there are all sorts of sliders that you can play with to make new effects and emergent visuals and things. So yeah, I don't know what else. Is there anything else to even show? Is that really all I have to show after all my time of doing this? Man, man, this I just see so much potential in it, but it's sort of like seeing a mountaintop to me, and then it feels like I know the mountain exists, and I feel like I've been climbing for so long, but I've only ever like taken a few steps, and it's still in the horizon. You know, like I can only do something so basic, and my control is still so not what I would like it to be. You think it would be more consistent? There's a nice like solid line inside the heart at least. It doesn't have the overly pronounced like loop. But you'd think that I would have more control over the medium at this point and have more things I like to do, and part of it feels like it's a me problem with like the internal critic and like not knowing how to break things down and abstract things or simplify things so well. Like I'm pretty bad at that. I'm good at overcomplicating things, I think, and it's been a long effort to try to not overcomplicate things. And boy, yeah, it's been hard. Yeah, there's also this movement I kind of like. I think of it like a speaker kind of pulsing back and forth. You know? Yeah. So I don't know, man. And then there's sort of the idea where you're like pulling something through space, like so there. Yeah, it's sort of like a flat medium that kind of got pulled through space there. Maybe they try it again with like a sphere and try seeing how it looks that way. So I'm going to sort of pinch around there and pull across. And you see, like it goes with one sphere that kind of gets shrunk down, it gets pulled out and fed through. And if I try to go back this way, and yeah, it's like it's taking me all sorts of ways. So I think I've thought about things like rasterization. Um, what is the other one? Rasterization. Well, double pendulums. Both just in the way like the arm works. So while doing this, I have to be kind of mindful of like the shoulder, the elbow, and then also the wrist. So there's like that level of complication, and then sort of thinking about each of the stars is like their own pendulum and a giant sort of a field of them that are all differentially kind of affected by things and at different states. And yeah, they're also like two different spheres of gravity, I think, or like two different orders of gravity. So you get the one that's like this sphere where it's a little bit stronger and it kind of pull things a little bit more forcefully, and then like a stronger, less strong field. So like when it says outside of the sphere, uh, it's kind of more of a uniform, weaker kind of gravity. Um, what else was there? So rasterization, Gaussian, like Gaussian splatting. I don't know how to apply that, but then I've also kind of thought about like sort of sending things out and sort of projecting things a little bit. Yes, I see there being a way to like write words and like do cursive and things, and I am just not smart enough to make it all click, you know? So I think I'm kind of tapping out here and trying to get more people involved and trying to show more people and get some other ideas and other brains and some other things onto it. So I've also thought about programs to sort of um, reverse engineer things. So like imagine you find some end state where you make like a really cool image. You know, you make like I don't know, let's say like I did a number of things here and it came out with like uh I don't know, a dragon. Let's go for something really crazy. Let's say you made like a dragon. So from like this, let's call this a dragon. Um, I would want to know and like have an algorithm that kind of takes it to that state from like a state like this where it's like a fairly uniform sphere. Like what kind of alterations need to be made. So okay, you stretch it out like taffy or like a something. That's kind of cool in its own right. I feel like kind of like the density of particles in the different sections. But then, um, yeah. So it would be kind of like trying to figure out what actual operations are used to create images and um you know the base program would probably be like the if you've ever seen that a video where it's like they rearrange all the pixels in an image to like recreate the face of like Obama. It would kind of be like that. I feel like it would start like this and then it would immediately go straight to the image, but in reality there's a number of operations that you would have to make as a person that are a little bit wider and a little bit stranger and would have to have different rule sets and parameters and things. And it would take a lot of tweaking and kind of translation before that would like be something where I could like reliably like, okay, now I want to feed in this new image of like a specific type of flower I want to recreate with this medium. And then it would give me operations that I would actually know. Also, I think somebody's here, so I might cut that here.